Hi guys, I'm back looking at Bitcoin on the daily. Right then, so what have we had? Well, we had the run up, down bounce, real bad down, the up, and then this whole indecisive area here coming into what could have been a funnel here, but you're reaching critical point in this downtrend because your time is passing and the level didn't want to go down that much. People were saying, well, it's going to go down, A lot of people were calling down. You've got, Francis von Asim Riaz, a lot of people were gloom and doom. And then you've got others who were a bit more bullish on alts, and I'll go into that perhaps later. Is Bitcoin going up? Don't know. It looked okay. We had a bit of positive divergence on the daily just there, and then today it's just whipped up quite nicely, and people seem to think it's business as usual. It might not be. If you think here, we'll zoom in a little. We'll go to the 4 hour. Okay, we'll just stretch that out a little so we can see what we're seeing. So really it went up to almost, on Bitstamp at least, went over 8,000. I think on some exchanges it even touched nearly 8.2. And it got overbought on the 4 hour there very quickly. And whenever it does that, you're going to have problems. It's probably going to try and reject. I mean, how many times did it actually get overbought even during the good times? It very rarely. That's not build it. There it is. Oh well, there are a couple of times that it did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, but they were pretty rare. And this could mean the start of a bull run. Yes, of course it could. Of course it could. But there has been some rejection at 8.2, and we're now riding at 7.7. So that's a $500 loss. But we did start here at 6.9, and that's a $700 increase. That was over $1,000. And if you zoom in even more, it's crazy. I mean, how long did it actually take? Not long. I mean, if you didn't have an alarm on that, you missed it. Put it on the 5-minute chart. It just went in 20 minutes, in it. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 minutes, it's pretty much gone. 25 minutes, and I saw it up here, it hadn't nearly done it, and I was like, what, man, crazy. Now, you could say, okay, it didn't reject that much, we're starting to funnel out a little, we're going to consolidate, we might move up, bit of stepping stone action. That's possible. There are people saying that it's still the perfect end to a counter trend rally, which is subsequently going to ultimately bring us down. That is a possibility, but that was a very strong move for Bitcoin, and I do know that when you get very strong moves in Bitcoin, you will always get a slight amount of continuation, whether it be a lot or whether it be a bit. Now, if Bitcoin changes its mind and starts seriously moving, you know what happens when Bitcoin starts going. It just never stops. It goes down, it never stops going down. It goes up, it never stops going up. And it does tend to do that and just keep on grinding. Now, but there are certain levels to watch out for. I mean, this was a bounce there like that. The shape, really, if you think about it, isn't really that different. It's almost an echo of the previous. There's a ramp up. There's the down into the pit, sort of a second peak, which rejected. It came down. I mean, we're kind of here, see? Up, down, second peak, rejected, down. And then there's like a rollover. Bomb. And then this is kind of a smaller version. Up, down, second peak, down, rollover, boom. So that's kind of 1, 2, 3. And then maybe even a micro one here. Yeah, but it's lost all of its shape. And then another one here. So some people might say, well, it's done it. You know, it's gone to sort of infinity now, and it's lost all momentum, and it's ready for its reversal. And I think a lot of people do want it to go up, and if it does go up, then everyone will get excited. It'll all start going up. We'll get some new money in. People will go, oh, Bitcoin's going up, and then you're in a different. Well, actually, you probably, if Bitcoin goes up fast, your alts will all get wrecked. But you might make a bit of dollar, but you certainly won't keep up with Bitcoin. So, you know, should you be in Bitcoin right now? Should you sell your alt? Well, I don't know. Might end up being the Bitcoin show, to be honest. If you get a decent price for your alts, a lot of people are looking for an exit. And if everybody's doing one thing, you know, following the crowd is, as much of a rebel as I am, is probably the best thing to do, because if you're early to the crowd, you'll get front row seat and you'll make the money. So if you just check this out, we've got this old channel. This is a non-logarithmic chart. This is where we were living before we broke out, dumped. We thought it was going to roll down. We didn't. We went up, and we broke down now, and we're back in that channel, and we're hanging on by our fingernails. If we break down, we'll travel along here. We could grind this, and then just go, actually, you know what? Boom, and we are going down. In which case, you might see that last turn of the screw, and that would, you know, as well, that would be healthy for crypto, because then you wouldn't be suffering that long. It'd bounce, and then at least everybody go, oh, right, that's it then, it's over, it's done. A nice little bounce. People do like hard bounces. It'll have a nice little bounce, and it'll come back, and it'll be powerful. But the problem then is, you know, what are you going? You know, a lot of alts will get wrecked. A lot of them will bounce really well on a healthy bounce. It did here, but then we lost everything as Bitcoin continued. So you need to buy the alt for a good alt bounce on BTC, do an immediate sell to BTC or dollar, depending on whether you think, well, normally when you get a really strong bounce, it overcooks, and you sometimes get a bit of, you know, pull back. So you can either sell to dollar, wait for Bitcoin or anything to come down, and then rebuy. But yeah, could go down, could just keep on going. Can I see it? I think it might just be a bit of a grind. It could even be a, you know, like a consolidation triangle here forming. Get to about just under 10 thou, roll over, and create like a separate funnel. You know, let's not try and be too clever, but you know, something that might do something more like that. You know, where you've got just general consolidation, 3 hits, and then either out like that. And that to me seems like it has more space. If that went up now, that would be really tight, really close. But it can happen. You can get it, but I think it needs a bit more space personally. But yeah, so that's Bitcoin. Something else I've noticed, and say, are we in a bull market? Oh, we're not in a bull market. Coin market cap. Go to market cap now. We've gone up about 27 billion in one day today, which is quite a lot. And look, you can see that turning up. It's all a bit happier. But if you look at this is what I found most interesting. If you look at this, say on a year chart, people have been saying, are we in a bull market? Are we not in a bull market? Well, yeah, the price of everything's going down, but if you look at how things are relative to each other, so basically this is percentage of total market capitalization in dominance. So in other words, all of these lines added together do a full 100%. So you can actually add them stacked on top of each other. So that's 100% of the market. And it doesn't matter whether that market is worth 1 pence or $1 trillion. The distribution of all that is, you know, that's what it is. That's percentage representation of each market. Now, one thing I noticed, which was very strange, is this white line here. That one. And that represents others. So other coins as of about the 18th of the 18th of March, have been going up. Everything else been sort of going down. Bitcoin's been rolling over in dominance, but the dominance of these coins is going up, even though the market was kind of treading water, which meant that, alright, Ethereum might have been losing a bit, a few bits and bobs, looks like we've lost a bit on Bitcoin Cash, a few bits and bobs going down, but even Bitcoin went down a little bit, and you've got this growing, so you've got things like, One Chain and new coins, little ones, be getting bigger, and I found that really interesting. I thought that was a fairly bullish sign that the smaller coins, the newer coins, had started their run early, and that might roll over again. You never know, it can do. But I just thought that was really interesting that really hasn't been discussed by anybody, and I think that in terms of a dominance could be regarded as a sort of an impulsive move for that part of the market. I mean, you have to realise that dominance sometimes is a very important tool to use. For example, you could see where Bitcoin Cash started its upward move. You just look for when it was the least dominant, and Bitcoin Cash had dominance of there 3%. And even there, 3.14, I mean, it's not much. And then all of a sudden it crept up, and then boom, we're all the way up to nearly 12% dominance, and that doesn't take into consideration the spike. And that would be a tool to say, well, what are we at the moment with Bitcoin Cash? And we're at 4.21. You go, is that low enough in dominance to justify a move up anymore? And you think, well, if somebody is manipulating the market, which they either are or they're not, or people just waiting for the right time or whatever, that you think, well, about Bitcoin Cash could really do with being at about 3% dominance, and when it is, I might buy some. There's just stuff like that that's weird, and then you think, well, okay, what's this? This is Ripple, and the Ripple dominance nearly hit the same. And you're looking at Ethereum here, where these are dominance peaks, and and then you're looking at dominance troughs, and I know they're not price. But it is almost reflecting the price, but it also gives it its sort of relative strength and where it is against its peers, where it is against Bitcoin, and I think that's a really good indicator that when something's getting a bit overbought or a bit oversold, unless it has very good reason for going up, because I don't know, it's just increased some amazing fundamental thing about itself, in which case it deserves to be permanently more than what it is. A bit like when you get that initial growth in a coin of Bitcoin Cash or Neo or something like that, in which case, fair enough, it's coming and it's going to be here to stay at that point. But once it's established, I think the dominance can be used as a decent price indicator against other things. When Bitcoin gets a bit high in dominance, it's time to come down. When Bitcoin gets low in dominance, it might be time to go up again. And I just found it a really interesting tool, and this white line here being a precursor to a potential bull run in the market, particularly in the alt market, where Ethereum's just had a turn up, Bitcoin's having a turn down. Is Bitcoin going to turn the tables and decide to go up? It might, but if it was organic and followed this design, it would appear that Bitcoin's going to come down again, and we're going to have another alt bull run. But anything can happen when Bitcoin starts going up. Everything goes to pot, doesn't it? All plans go in the bin. Anyway, that was kind of my take on Bitcoin. Is it going up? A bit for now. Is it going to come down? Possibly. So beware. But we have kind of broken out. We're barely holding on to this old channel with our fingernails. Could hit the top of that channel, come back down again. That channel still exists in a lot of people's minds. So just draw it, get it, pull up a chart, draw it for yourself. It's quite easy to draw. Probably do it on the daily, pretty easy. And that's the reality, I mean, Bitcoin could just tread water forever if it wanted, and just have the alts do what they want. But anyway, that's my take. Happy trading. Perhaps use stop losses. If you're holding an out, if Bitcoin goes up, you'll get wrecked. So you might have to run a tight stop loss. But you got to keep monitoring it and be happy if you lost that 1 or 2% on the stop loss. But if Bitcoin really goes up, you'll be glad you sold the out. If you're holding Bitcoin, you might want to tether stop loss if you trust tether. And if you haven't bought Bitcoin yet, I don't know what I'd do. If I was holding fiat right now, I really don't know what I would do. I certainly wouldn't buy Bitcoin just yet, but maybe it is the time to buy it. I don't know. I think a lot of people will start buying it if it starts going up a fair bit. Particularly if it breaks the top of this trend line. And you break 10 thou, 11 thou. I mean, let's just extend this to there. If it would kept going up, it would be like at 10,150. If it got to 11,000, you broke out. But then you've got this as a resistance level as well. So really, you're going to have to break 11, 12,000 to even be out of the resistance zones. It's a tricky call. Would I buy Bitcoin there? Well, actually, if you've got patience, yeah, maybe buy it. It's pretty low, and if it doesn't go up again, it's very low. And all you got to do if it goes down a bit there is wait a few months, and it'll probably be back up there again anyway. If you're interested in Bitcoin, I play alts mainly. So anyway, good luck with trades. Let's see what happens to Bitcoin, and maybe use stop losses if you can be bothered, or just hold if you have patience and see what happens. Alts might be doing alright. Okay guys, I'll see you later. Bye bye.